one of the things that I enjoyed about the novel especially was it's partly a talk about Orion's late life experiences, which are very realistically portrayed. And he's not a superhero. He's not a spy or a PI, just an ordinary guy. But he's hit a real wall where a lot of bad things happen at once. You know, he's lost. He has not gotten the promotion he expected. He ends up having to leave the university, take retirement early because of false accusations. His friends aren't supporting him the way he feels that he should in this endeavor. He's lost his wife. He's having to downsize. And there are a few questions that came to me as I was reading this. First of all, this is everything we fear. Were you trying to make me that nervous while I was reading the novel? All the bad things that are going to happen very shortly in my life. But it's, and also that I was thinking about this, how many novels have older characters who are either charming curmudgeons or really sour old folks, and he's neither one of them. You know, he's still struggling, and he's still upright in the water, so to speak, in the flood water. So those are two comments that you could bounce off of.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you know, one of the questions I get over and over again is how close are these characters to you? How much of you is there in these characters? And there's a writer that I admire, a guy named Tom Drury, who gave an answer that was way better than anything I could have come up with. He said, and I was sitting in an audience when somebody asked him this question about his fiction. He said, well, picture it this way. I stand before a stained glass portrait of myself, and then I take a baseball bat to it, and I smash it into a million pieces, and then I sit on the floor and make a mosaic so that it is my portrait, but it is something else as well. So what Orion and I share is that we are middle-aged, and I'm sort of also reflecting what's happening in the world as I'm writing, and of course in this, with this string of bad economic years, we've seen people forced into downsizing. We've seen people's jobs being discontinued for one reason or another. And so I'm sort of reacting to current events as well, and some of the psychological things. Now, none of that has happened to me, unless HarperCollins people want to tell me something, but it hasn't happened yet anyway. But I guess you could say that Orion is having a sort of a multifaceted midlife crisis based on these things, and he is, you're right, he is neither a totally good guy or he's not a villain either. And I guess ultimately that's what I have in common with all of my characters, but Orion in particular, is that we are flawed people trying our best to become better people. So I think by the end of the novel, Orion, you can make the argument that it's kind of too late, but he becomes a better parent than he had ever been, when his kids are adults. And so that's one of the changes that is evoked by the conflict.